Hey, what's up YouTube? Your boy Chris. This is gonna be a review video of the Firman tri-fuel generator, model number T07571. It's actually a tri-fuel generator that runs off of gasoline. It'll run off of propane, and also it'll run off of natural gas. So in this video, I'm gonna be going over with you some of the specifications of the generator. I'm gonna go over some of the buttons and switches, show you guys how to actually start it, and then I'm gonna demonstrate running the generator on all three fuels, which would be gasoline, natural gas, and propane. So stay tuned to this video, and I'm gonna show you the Firman tri-fuel generator. Let's get started. So looking at the front of the Firman tri-fuel generator, model number T07571. I've actually owned this generator for a year. I picked it up at Costco. I got it at a really good deal. And one thing I learned about this generator is that it'll run anything you throw at it. The beauty of this generator is that it has an electric start. It'll run off gasoline, it'll run off propane, and also natural gas. So I'm gonna go over with you some of the switches and buttons, and I'm gonna show you how to actually get this thing started. So looking at the front of the generator, on the front it'll actually give you the watts. The top number is your starting watts, the bottom number is your running watts. So for example, on gasoline, your starting watts is 9400, your running watts is 7500. On liquid propane, the starting watts is 8450, the running watts is 6750. If I run the generator off of natural gas, the starting watts is 6900 and the running watts is 5500. So depending on how you want to run the generator will determine the output wattage. Now, on the front of the left side is a port. This port is for the natural gas, and also the same port is for propane. So if I'm going to run it off of propane or natural gas, I'm going to hook the fuel line to this port. Now this is one of the fuel selector switches. So if I'm going to run the generator off of gasoline, I want to switch it to the 3 o'clock position. If I'm going to run it off of propane or natural gas, I want to switch it to the 9 o'clock position, like so. So propane or natural gas to the 9 o'clock, regular gas to the 3 o'clock. Once I will shut the generator down, just switch it to off. So anytime you turn the fuel selector switch on, you're going to get a red light. That red light, you have 4 minutes to start the generator. Okay. This button to the top, this red button, this is the electric start button. So if I'm going to start the generator with the battery, I want to turn it to on. If I'm going to, for example, if I'm going to start it with gasoline, I'll just switch it to the 3 o'clock position. I'll pull the choke, which I'll show you where the choke is. The choke is actually on the front left side. If I'm gonna actually start it, I'll turn the choke on. Once the generator cranks, then I'll turn the choke off. If you look at the top, you have a gas selector switch. So if I'm gonna run it off of gas, natural gas or propane, 12 o'clock would be natural gas. 9 o'clock position would be liquid propane. So you only have to turn this nozzle if you're going to be using natural gas or propane. So regardless of what fuel you run, you want to first start it in the start position just to get it started, and then once it cranks up, you can put it to the run position. Okay, here's the manual pull. It has a 439 cc engine, so you can start the generator manually, or you can do it with the battery. So looking back at the front, this would be your breaker switch. So this breaker runs these outlets. So once the generator is running, I can turn the breaker switch on and it'll power these outlets. You have a 50 amp 240 volt. You have a 30 amp 240 volt 4-prong. You have a 30 amp 120 volt 3-prong. And also to the far right, you have 2 regular outlets, the ground fault reset switches already built inside of the plug. So it gives you a lot of plugs, 2 110s, a 3-prong 30 amp 120, a 30 amp 240 4-prong, and then it gives you the 5-prong 50 amp 240 volts. Damn! Okay, also here you have a digital display. It'll display volts, it'll display hertz, and it'll display the hours. So when you crank the generator up, it'll show you how much the output volts is. This red switch to the top is actually a switch for this 110 outlet. You want to make sure that the switch is on in order for this double 110 outlet to work. And also you have a 20 amp reset switch. If it throws the breaker, you can always press the 20 amp reset switch. Looking at the front, you have a battery. Remember, the generator has an electric start, so when you turn the switch on, I'm gonna put that back in the off position. When you turn it on, you put the generator in choke, you press the red button, the battery will crank the unit. Once it runs, you take the choke off. And again, you can actually crank the unit manually. And also on the front, you have a oil fill. So to put the oil in, there's your oil fill. If you was gonna do an oil change, there's your oil change bolt. You take that front bolt off for your oil change if you want to drain the oil. So looking at the right side of the generator, you have the exhaust port. Always run the generator in a outside well ventilated area. Never run the generator indoors. Looking at the top of the generator, you have a 8-gallon or a 30-liter gas tank on top for gasoline. And it also has a fuel gauge on the top as well for your gasoline. So I'm going to demonstrate to you how to run this generator off of natural gas. I'm going to run it off of propane, and then I'm going to demonstrate running it off of just regular gasoline. So my first demonstration would be natural gas. I'm going to hook up the gas line. Just going to tighten it down a little bit. I'm going to hook up my natural gas line. Going to turn on the gas valve. That's going to let gas go down the line. Into the generator. So we're going to give it a moment and just let the gas line fill up, and then we're going to crank the generator. So now that I have the gas line connected to the unit, we're going to start it by putting the fuel switch to the 9 o'clock position. We want to make sure that we have the switch in the right position. Since we're going to be running natural gas, we're going to put it in the 12 o'clock position. If we was going to run liquid propane, we'll put it in the 9 o'clock position. So we have the natural gas in the 12 o'clock position. I'm gonna turn on the choke. I'm going to turn my fuel selector switch to the 9 o'clock position. I got 4 minutes to crank it. So now all I have to do is push the starter button. Once it cranks, all I have to do is turn the choke to run. So here we go. Anytime that I finish running the fuel on liquid propane or natural gas, I'm going to turn it off at the supply first and then let the unit shut off before I turn off the unit, because I just want to make sure that all of the gas is out of the line. So now I'm going to disconnect the natural gas and then I'm going to connect the propane. This hose did not come with the unit. However, the gas regulator for the propane did come with the unit, so I had to purchase this gas line separately. Okay, now I'm ready to run the generator off of propane. This is my propane tank. The generator actually came with this regulator. It came with the regulator. I purchased this valve separately. I will include a link in the description of the video of where you guys could connect this valve gauge, and it'll tell you exactly how much is in your propane tank. But it did come with the regulator for the propane, but it didn't come with the hose line for natural gas. But we're going to hook it up the same way. Going to connect right here on the front. Make sure your propane is off. Hook that up on the front. I'm going to take my 19 millimeter and just kind of tighten it just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to turn on the propane. Once I turn it on, my gauge is going to show full, as you guys can see. And you want to turn on the propane all the way. If you don't turn it on all the way, the regulator will freeze over. So you want to make sure you open it up all the way. I have a full tank of gas and the propane. I have it connected to the front port. You want to make sure that your propane is not sitting near the exhaust. Since I'm going with propane, I'm going to switch it from natural gas to liquefied petroleum gas, LPG. And it's going to be the same procedure. I'm going to put it in the choke position. Once it cranks up, then I'm going to put it in the run position. So we have the switch to the left on LPG. Okay, I'm going to turn my fuel selector switch to the 9 o'clock position for LPG. I got a red light. I have 4 minutes to start the generator. And now all I have to do is press the starter button once it cranks up, and then I can put it on run. Here we go. turn my main switch back to off. So just keep in mind, anytime you disconnect your natural gas or your propane, turn it off from the source first, just to make sure that you have all of the gas out of the line, and then you can disconnect your gas line. So now I can disconnect my gas line, and I'm gonna demonstrate to you how to actually run it off of just regular gasoline. So now, since I'm going to run the generator with regular gasoline, it doesn't matter the position that I leave this switch. This only comes into play if you're going to use natural gas or LPG, liquid petroleum gas. No gas lines are connected. Now I'm going to run it just off of regular gasoline. So on gasoline, I'm going to switch it to the 3 o'clock position. Since the unit has already been running, I don't even probably have to choke it. I'm just going to hit the red button to start it. To turn the unit off, just put it in the off position. That's all you have to do to kill it. So I'm going to show you one of the plugs that I actually picked up for my Honda generator. It'll plug directly on the front. It has the 3-prong locking. If you're not sure which coils to buy for the unit, it gives you the number here on the bottom. This is a L5-30R. It's a 30 amp, 120 volt. And it locks. So to connect it, and this particular plug will give me 2 110 outlets for a total of 30 amps. Here's another plug that did not come with the unit. I purchased these plugs separately. So this here is a 4-plug or 4-prong. So on the bottom, this one here is a L14 30R. It plugs in like so, and it'll give me 4 110 outlets. Again, these plugs did not come with the unit. I purchased them separately. If you guys out there got a big camper, a big RV, you have the 5-plug 14-50R. It's a 50 amp, 240 volts for you guys that have the big RV. The thing I love about this generator is that you can throw everything at it and it'll run it. So I'm going to go over just a few of the key points and let you know what I think about this Firman generator, model number T07571. The battery actually charges when the unit is started. So some guys may put a tender on here just to keep the battery charged. I highly recommend starting the unit at least once a week. Let it run for at least 5 minutes. But when the unit is running, it will charge the starter battery. That's one of the good things I do like about this particular unit. Keep in mind that the hoses does not come with the unit. This gas line I purchased separately. I actually bought this on eBay. You can get them on eBay. You can get them on Amazon. I will include a link in the description of the video where you can pick up the gas line. The power outlets, the one that I'm holding, did not come with the unit. Now it actually came with a small short 3-prong locking plug. I do not have that. I actually gave it away. But the power cords that I'm holding did not come with the unit, but it did come with the regulator hose for the propane. So if you guys are going to run propane, it came with that particular hose as well. What do I think about this Firman generator that I picked up from Costco, model number T07571? To be honest, I absolutely love it. A lot of output watts, 9400 max on gasoline, 8450 on liquid petroleum gas, and 6900 on natural gas. And when you have propane or natural gas hooked to the generator, it actually, the exhaust is not that bad. On gasoline, it's a lot worse. But what do I think about this unit? I absolutely love it because it'll run off of 3 different fuels. I love the electric start. I've never had a problem with it starting. I've had the unit for a year, no issues whatsoever. Anything you plug in, it'll run it for the most part. I haven't plugged up anything that wouldn't run it, that required those many watts. I love the handle. If I want to roll the generator, it's actually a very good generator for the price. Again, I purchased this thing at Costco. I think it cost me somewhere around $800, and I've seen them really with discounts, $200 discounts. So if you have the opportunity to pick up one of these tri-fuel generators, I say jump on it. It's a very good deal. I absolutely love it. All positives, no negatives. If I had to rate it out of 5 stars, and 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest, I would rate this unit 5 stars. I give it A. It's a perfect unit. So I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I hope this video actually helps some of you guys out. Some of you may be watching this video. You may be in Costco looking for a video on this particular unit. And actually, I think they actually got some different units that's gray. This one here is blue, and they actually got, I think some newer ones have the gray finish. But the Firman tri-fuel generators is a must-have. Great for camping, cookouts. You can even connect it to your house if you have the transfer switch in case your power fail. I'll be talking about that in a later video. But the Firman tri-fuel generator, I give it 5 stars. So I hope this video helps some of you guys out. If you guys like this video, be sure to click the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I will talk to you guys later. See ya.